The nights are drawing in, the bear months have arrived, and I think this is the perfect time to talk about some dark cozy games. Both that are already available to play right now and that we have to look forward to in the future. But first, hi, I'm Ellie, and this is a cozy gaming club where I love to shine a light on lesser known cozy games. Can you believe it's been over 2 years since my last Dark Cozy Games video? Make sure to check that one out after this video because I won't be repeating any of them in this video, but I still have over 30 Dark Cozy games to talk about, so let's get started. And let's begin with games that are out now, the first of which is Grimshire. After fleeing your hometown in the middle of the night, you find yourself in the small town of Grimshire where you quickly take on a new role as the farmer, ensuring the village has enough food to keep the root cellar stocked. But with a mix of herbivores and carnivores calling Grimshire home, you'll need a range of crops, fish, and forageables to keep the townsfolk happy. Before long though, you'll have even more to deal with as the very plague that caused you to flee darkens your doorway again. Everyone in Grimshire must work together to keep the town alive, but it's possible that not everyone will survive. Grimshire is currently in early access on PC, but I would highly recommend checking it out. It's sitting at a 98% positive rating, and if you're unsure about the gameplay, I've got an overview of the entire first season up on my channel. How do you feel about being the bad guy? In Dis County, you've been called to the town of Blomkest to help your aunt run the supermarket. Spend your days stocking the shelves and checking out customers, but things soon start to take a turn when you realise that there's something darker going on here. Between pollution, blackmail, and more, you'll need to navigate the interesting dynamics of this small town. Trying to stay on the citizens' good side, or just going to work and trying to make as much money as possible. Just like Grimshire, I've got an overview of my first 30 days in the game up on my channel, or you can try it for yourself on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Bloomtown: A Different Story combines the best parts of Stranger Things and Persona to create a surreal monster taming RPG. Play as Emily and her younger brother Chester, who are sent to stay with their grandpa for the summer. But while Bloomtown seems cozy and quiet at first, things quickly escalate as children start disappearing and your nightmares start coming to life. It doesn't take long for you to discover that there's a dark underside to Bloomtown filled with demons created from fear, anger, and the other vices of the townspeople. Capture weaker demons to use in combat, level them up, and evolve them to create stronger entities to fight the town's demons. It's available to play on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, iOS, and Android. This next game is so fresh that it was only released a few days ago. Easy Delivery Co. is a mail delivery game where you've been hired to deliver parcels to a small, scenic mountain town that's constantly plagued by the worst snowy weather. You'll need to pack up your truck and carefully navigate the winding country roads to deliver your mail, but there may be more to this game than meets the eye. But not your wage, sadly that is just that low. But the devs are definitely hinting at something as they promise that there's nothing strange going on, no law, absolutely nothing at all. So whether you want to solve the mysteries hidden in this strange snowy outpost or just deliver your mail, get your wage and go home, Easy Delivery Co. is out now on PC. Harvest Island may appear to be a simple farming game, but it has very creepy undertones suggesting that not everything is as it seems. Initially, you'll enjoy typical farming sim activities like crafting tools, fishing, rearing animals, and foraging items from around the island. But unlike typical farming games, you'll also need to make offerings to the god for blessings to upgrade your farm. But as you start straying from the safe boundaries of your homestead, you'll soon realize that your island isn't as safe as you thought. Harvest Island is available to play on PC. Gloomy Eyes is a Tim Burton-esque adventure where you alternate between controlling Gloomy, a zombie, and Nene, a human, on their quest to bring back the daylight. Your world has been plunged into darkness during the everlasting conflict between the living and the undead, but can these two unlikely allies save the day? This game is fairly short at around 4 to 5 hours of playtime, but the art style in the world looks incredible, and it's definitely on my list to play at some point in the future. Plus, it's available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch if you want to give it a try. While Occult Plant Shop sim Strange Horticulture was on my previous list, its sequel wasn't. Following in the footsteps of Strange Horticulture, in Strange Antiquities you run a store for arcane artifacts in the familiar town of Undermere. From strange medallions to withered hands, all artifacts are carefully documented in tomes to help with identification. But be careful, as a misidentification could be costly. Just like in Strange Horticulture, you'll be able to make choices that shape the story. Will you help someone with their problem or curse them with a new affliction? The decisions you make will change the overarching plot and the ending, and it's out now on PC and Switch. I feel like this one really went under the radar when it was first released, which is surprising because it seems like the perfect game. In Equinox Homecoming, you find out that your mother has vanished and return to your hometown to find out what's happened. But shortly after you arrive, a body's uncovered and you find yourself mixed up in a huge conspiracy. Together with your friends, both in-game and in real life, you'll explore the trails and beaches of this idyllic island on horseback, searching for clues to work out what's happened. Will you be able to uncover the mysteries hidden in this small town? Equinox Homecoming is currently in early access on Steam. We've done death and capitalism, but what about aliens? Are they dark? Well, this one is trying to deceive a small town by pretending to be one of them. In this weird life sim, you play as an alien sent on an undercover mission to Earth. Posing as a new neighbor in the town of Shine Hill, you'll need to try to blend in by participating in village life, while also trying to complete your ultimate mission. This game just sounds so out there, but also I'm kind of intrigued by its wacky premise. Like any normal farming sim, it also promises your typical fishing, cooking and dungeon escapades, as well as the option to befriend and romance your neighbors, and you can check out the first week of gameplay right here. It's currently out in early access on PC. This was one of my top games last year, and I recommend it to everyone. In The Rootrees Are Dead, you play as a private detective who's been tasked with outlining the Rootree family tree. The Rootrees are a rich family, and the current president of their namesake candy company has just died, along with his wife and children. Now their money must be redistributed to the rest of the family, but who's actually a blood relative and deserving of the fortune? That's where you come in. Scour the 1990s internet, library books, and public newspaper archives to find out everything you can about the Rootrees and their extended family in this fantastic detective game. And the best thing is that when you finish, there's a whole second mystery to solve. It's out on PC, and I would definitely recommend picking this one up. Next up is Whisper the House, an unpacking-like where you work as a home service worker to help residents of Whispertown with moving, organising, and decorating their homes. It starts very innocently with you cleaning up houses, unpacking boxes, and decorating in return for money that you can use to buy for furniture for your own home. But as you play through the game, you'll uncover some sinister secrets in the homes you're decorating, and may even discover some ghosts and glitches in the world around you. It's available to play right now on PC. What's cozier than a walking simulator? Arctic Awakening is like Firewatch with no combat, light puzzles, and a lot of atmosphere, dialogue, and exploration. After crash landing during a storm, you find yourself stranded in the wilderness with just your therapy bot Alfie for company. But as you explore the wilds, you'll begin to stumble across abandoned buildings that are definitely more sci-fi in nature. What's going on here, and can you find your way back home? This one was just released and is available to play on PC, Mac, Xbox and PlayStation, but it's also worth being aware that there are some survival mechanics like a hunger meter that you have to manage while playing. Of course, I have to mention cozy with a hint of murder game, Echoes of Plum Grove. A new life awaits for you in Honeywood. After washing up onto the island shores, you'll find yourself the new owner of a humble plot of land which you'll nurture through generations. That's right, pull up your sleeves, grab your tools, and get to work building a farm that will be passed down through your family tree, from parent to child every time your character passes away. Unlike other farming games, this also has much darker mechanics to tackle, like disease, harsh winters, and poison. It's available on PC, Mac, and Switch. In this narrative RPG, you play as Liza, a recently turned vampire who is struggling with the morals of her new situation. Will you hunt animals to quench your thirst, or consume the blood of your fellow townsfolk? Cabernet is a game of choices where every decision you make affects the outcome of the story, from the moral choices you make to the skills you learn and the neighbours you decide to manipulate. I've heard so many incredible things about this one, and it's available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox and Switch. Next up is another farming sim that combines typical farming games with the darker themes of Twin Peaks. After moving to a small town, you discover its dark side, uncovering the townsfolk's hidden secrets and facing the supernatural horrors that call the town home. I haven't tried this one myself, but I love the sound of it, and I'm intrigued to discover what's going on beneath the town's cheery exterior. This next game is kind of like Strange Horticulture, but instead of selling plants, you're brewing potions to treat your patients. Each patient that comes to your store will share their symptoms, and you'll need to diagnose their illness by consulting your book of medicine and giving them the correct tincture. Or try your best, cross your fingers, and hope it works. Do No Harm is Lovecraftian though, and probably the scariest game on this list, as nightmarish entities will warp your reality and cause hallucinations as you go about your day. But the medicine puzzle gameplay may appeal to some of you. There's nothing more cozy and relaxing than a cleaning game, but what if you're cleaning up after some unsavory characters? In Crime Scene Cleaner, you're tasked with cleaning up crime scenes and removing any trace before the police show up. It's not easy work, but it pays well, and you've got a daughter to look after. So grab your sponge, mop, and power washer in this unconventional cleaning game that's available on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Those are all of the games that are out now, and next we're going to move on to the games that we have to look forward to in the future. And of course, we have to start with Grave Seasons. If you haven't heard of this dark farming game, then you are missing out. Grave Seasons has everything you love about farming games, like farming, mining, fishing, and romancing and befriending the villagers. But nothing is quite as it seems in this small town, and soon after you arrive, bodies begin to pile up. Search for clues and investigate your friends and foes to work out who is doing this, earning their trust and learning more about them by completing their quests. But you'll also need to try and work out who the next victim is, and use your supernatural affinities to craft wards to protect them when Grave Seasons launches on PC and consoles in 2026. If you're a book lover who enjoyed Tiny Bookshop but are looking for even more book games, then you may like the look of this one. In bookbinding, you work as, well, a bookbinder who takes in old books and gives them a new lease of life. You'll get to decorate them to your heart's content, choosing the colours and designs that suits your customers' preferences, or yours if that's what you want to do instead. But as you play through the game, an old friend will appear, and soon you'll be tangled up in a murder with your choices dictating the outcome of the game. Bookbinding is due to launch on PC in Q4 2025, so hopefully we don't have long to wait for this one. We've got another vampire game up next, and this one is set in the Wild West. By day, you'll be working the farmland, raising animals, and trying to improve the condition of your rundown village. All in the name of improving the tourist trade so that by night you can hunt for a stranger to quench your thirst. But that's not all, because you'll also be at the beck and call of the Vampire Council, and there's ancient vampiric runes to investigate too when Vampire Rancher launches on PC in Q4 2025. Do you know the film Hotel Transylvania? Well, this is like a game of that film. In Bloody Hell Hotel, you play as a vampire who's just woken up after a long sleep and found themselves in a modern world with no way to feed. So they decide to open up a hotel to entice the food to come to them. Renovate and decorate your hotel, farm for food for your customers, and then farm on them to regenerate your powers. There is honestly so much going on in this game, it's kinda chaotic. But it sounds like fun, and I can't wait for it to release next year. Clay is an adorable little mouse who returns from the big city to find their childhood home in ruins in this woodland survival game. To make matters worse, your aunt, who was supposed to be looking after it, has gone missing. Brave the elements and journey out into the frozen wilderness to collect vital resources for both yourself and your new home. Beware of the insect wildlife and remember that nobody survives on their own. Find new friends, expand your survival handbook, restore your burrow, and solve the mystery of what happened to your aunt when Winterborough launches later this year. In Magical Life Sim Crimson Hollow, you take on the role of an artisan, trying to master your craft. From mining to blacksmithing, fishing to herbalism and alchemy, there are a lot of skills for you to master, and lots of magical ingredients for you to experiment with. But the heart of the gameplay is the villagers that you can get to know by befriending them and completing their quest. Each character has a hidden backstory for you to uncover, and by earning their trust you can discover their secrets and unlock perks to help you with the game. There's no release date yet for Crimson Hollow, but you can follow along with the devlogs on YouTube. In this eldritch farming game, the act of farming is actually forbidden, but you're the last of a long line of herbology sorcerers and you've just returned to your family's abandoned home to put down roots. Practice the forbidden arts and nurture your talents by growing mundane vegetables like turnips or beans, before trying your hand at stranger plants like a goose-growing tree and a plant that summons thunder. When you're not farming, head out in a chandelier to discover a world inspired by British folklore. From the complicated villagers to the spirits, gods, and boggles that also call this world home. There's lots of people and creatures for you to meet and befriend, but there are also those who may wish you harm. Mandrake is created by Fail Better Games, the team behind Sunless Sea, Sunless Skies, and Mask of the Rose. so I have no doubt that the storytelling will be phenomenal whenever it releases. Grab your player 2 for this co-op adventure where you play as 2 puppies. Your human is being kidnapped by evil creatures and imprisoned in a haunted mansion, and it's up to you and your player 2 to save her. Explore the mansion together using all of your puppy skills to dig, sniff, and bark your way through every puzzle you come across. But when it comes to the enemies, you may need to take a different approach. Each scary creature has a secret past, and you'll need to learn about it to uncover their weaknesses. I've had my eyes on this one for a while and love that you can choose the breed of your puppy and dress them up too. Hopefully we won't have long to wait until Haunted Paws releases. This game has been all over TikTok and I've loved following its story. Created by a team of artists, Dream Hollow is an eerie storybook adventure where you play as a small child who's gotten lost in the middle of the night. Trapped in a forest filled with storybook creatures and terrifying nightmares, each day you need to explore further and further and face the horrors that hide in the forest. But you're not the only one trapped here, there are other storybook characters that need saving as well, and you can decide whether to help them or leave them to the darkness. The art of Dream Hollow is by far one of the biggest selling points for the game, and I'm cautiously intrigued by it, although it may be a bit too scary for me. In this next game, you've just finished your studies and decided to start a farm to make a little money by growing crops and raising animals. But this town isn't as normal as it pretends to be. Welcome to Elderfield, a town filled with odd townsfolk and plagued by eldritch horrors. It's got all the cozy hallmarks of farming, fishing, exploring and making friends, but with the additional perks of pleading with the old gods, talking to the dead, and more. There's a demo up for this one right now if you want to try it, but sadly there's no release date yet. Our final vampire game is up next, and this one is called Moonlight Peaks. You've probably heard of it already, but if not, you play as a child of Count Dracula, who is determined to prove that a life of compassion is possible, even for a vampire. So you move to the magical town of Moonlight Peaks to start your new life. Of course, you're running a farm, but this one is a little more magical, with enchanted plants that glow and sustain you without the need for blood. Which is a good thing too, because it would be a shame not to use your vampire powers at shapeshifting. There's so much packed into this game, from potion brewing to flower arranging, pottery making, cross-stitching and more, and not to mention all of the gorgeous townsfolk. Moonlight Peaks will be launching at some point next year, and I know I'm going to disappear from society when it does. Take on the role of a fortune teller in aptly named Fortune Teller Simulator, where you use different methods of fortune telling to read the past, present and future of your customers. From reading tarot cards to consulting the night sky, studying the laws of the zodiac and harnessing the essence of crystals, there are several ways to tell their fortune, or not if you just like to tell them what they want to hear. And the best part is that you don't need any prior knowledge to do so, as there'll be various books to coach you through the fortune telling experience, when Fortune Teller Simulator launches in Q4 2025. Our penultimate game may be a little on the scarier side, but it's inspired by Coraline, and the devs have said that the scary aspects of the game are more the uneasy, dreamy kind that liminal spaces have, so I added it to the list. Habromania is a dreamy, Alice in Wonderland-inspired RPG that follows 19-year-old Alice as she tries to escape the surreal, cozy hellscape that is Wonderland. Make your way through Wonderland, meeting the familiar characters that you know and love, although they may not quite be the same as you remember them. Will you be able to make your way out of Wonderland unscathed? Sadly, there's also no release date for this one, but it's going firmly on the wish list for now. Our final game is Pumpkin Woods, which I think has a lot of fun ideas, and they just released a demo. Pumpkin Woods is a witchy survival crafting game where you travel the world with your fancy wagon, discovering the magical creatures that live here and uncovering the secrets that these mysterious lands are hiding. Along the way, you can collect ingredients to brew into potions to make money, find unicorns to tame and befriend, fly around on your magical broom, and more. This one also doesn't have a release date, sadly. I hope I've managed to introduce you to at least one new dark cozy game, but hopefully more than that. Let me know which one you're looking forward to the most down in the comments, and I hope to see you next video. Bye!